what's up? This is Becky from Thankful Roots at Dalrymple Farms, and I'm back in the floor today because I needed somewhere to sprawl out because I am going to be showing you guys inside my really stinking heavy chicken veterinary box. And so I was never really sure if anybody would be interested in seeing all of this crap that I've accumulated, but we recently, a couple weeks ago, had a sick chick, Miss Judy, who unfortunately did not make it. But during that time, I had a lot of people asking me, like, pretty much like, girl, what do you know about chickens? So I wanted to show you guys all of the things that I use in treatments and just things that I like to keep on hand just in case anything were ever to come up. With my chickens, I have it on hand and I don't have to drive to town to get it. I don't need to wait 2 days for it to come, you know, through the mail. Like, that way I already have it and I'm prepared for any chicken catastrophe that can happen. So I wanted to share it with you guys today and take you inside of my chicken box. So I hope you guys know that I'm the first to admit that when I got chicks, I didn't know a thing about them. Like, I knew some really basic, you know, things, but for the most part, I pretty much knew nothing. So for the next, like, every waking moment after I got my chicks, I read books, I read online articles, I made Pinterest boards, I had screenshots. I spent every single moment trying to collect as much information about these babies as I could because, one, I truly love my chickens. I wanted to learn as much as I could so that I could take care of them. At the end of the day, it is still a living thing, and I wanted to know that I could do my absolute best to try to take care of them and provide for them. But at the same time, I mean, we're on a budget around here. We're lucky that if I even take a human to the doctor. So I was not trying to take a chicken to the vet. And so I wanted to know that I did everything I could. I knew everything I could. And that, you know, if it ever came down to it, I could at least feel confident that I tried as hard as I could to save this chicken as well as provided a good life. So that's pretty much what fueled my obsession into the chicken box. Oh, it really is like truly heavy. I swear I'm not being a wimp. So as you guys can see, it's just like it's a toolbox I got from Walmart. I seriously paid like not even 10 bucks from it. I don't remember the exact size, but in the blog post I'll try to make links of all the stuff that I actually did. So like I said, it just came from Walmart. It's really nice, it's durable, it's maybe not the prettiest, but I don't care, it works. It gets dirty and pooped on and everything else, so it works for me. So when I was getting started with my chicken list, I had no idea what I needed. Honestly, I wasn't even trying, I mean, like, what ails a chicken? How do you, I don't know. So it was kind of, I really started from scratch. I joined every single Facebook chicken group I could find, and one day the topic came up of what should I have on hand for my chickens. And a lady had posted, I'm sorry I don't remember who it was exactly, but she had actually posted these like images, this content, sharing a whole list of things that she keeps on hand. It was a huge list, but not a single bit of it actually had any instruction on what the heck you do with those things. It just told you what to have, but it didn't tell you what you should do with those. So I basically skimmed this whole question on Facebook, you know, all the answers, all the comments. I skimmed each one, and I took into my notebook, my poor wore out notebook, and I wrote down every single thing that I could find, not just from that woman, but like from other comments too, recommending what it does. And so I hope you guys can kind of sort of see it. I know that that's really tricky, but so I wrote down everything and that she recommended, and then I pretty much like set to Googling and trying to figure out, well, why the heck do I need this? A few other things on here that I actually wound up deciding once I researched it, I felt like it wasn't that beneficial, or, you know, as I've learned more, there's a lot of things that basically I was like, that doesn't sound like a very good idea. So this was my jumping off point though, was I just made a list, I made a Pinterest board, and I truly soaked up every single bit of information I could. Googled it, checked different sources, trying to figure out what benefits it has, And then I went from there to, I made a wish list on Amazon. I had a shopping cart at Walmart, Tractor Supply. I actually found a equine and vet supply place called Jeffers. They were great. Hello, Gatlin. What are you doing? You gonna tell everybody hi?
Hi.
Gatlin's in there watching the Muppets and eating Doritos. And it's like the old school Muppets from the 70s. Jim Neighbors was just the guest there on there, you know, like John Powell from Andy Griffith's show. So I thought that was pretty cool, so that he's really interested in the Muppets. So that's what he's been in there watching. Sorry, he got kicked out of Disney Plus, so I had to go log it back in. So, basically, made all these crazy shopping lists, was so ready to just like collect everything that I could. I went to the Dollar Tree and I found a lot of things. And I should probably just go ahead and get started and tell you guys where I got stuff, why I got it, and just take you on a look inside of my chicken box. Okay, so we'll start in the top of the lid actually. I have hand sanitizer, just something that I had sitting around just to hand cleanse the foaming. And obviously, if you're out somewhere and you can't just like wash your hands, I felt like this was at least nice. And one time my husband and I ordered wings and they gave us a bunch of fresh snaps. And so instead I was like, no, don't use those. I'm going to put them in my chicken box. So I have fresh snaps in here. So I got some hydrocortisone cream. It is just good, you know, for like itches, rashes, things like that. And triple antibiotic. Make sure that if you get this, you get it without the pain relief inside of it. I'm sorry, I don't remember what the chemical is, but there is something in that pain relief that's actually really harmful to chickens. So if you do get the triple antibiotic, if you are doctoring your chickens at home too, make sure that's so important that you do not get the pain relief in it. It's just a triple antibiotic ointment. I got both of these at the Dollar Tree, and that's truly where a lot of the things that I could. That's why I made like my big master list, and then I started at the cheapest place that I could. So I started at the Dollar Tree. Everything that I could find there that I could knock off, I did, and then I moved up where I could find things better. Inside here we also have terramycin. This is really good to have on hand for animals anyway. It's an ophthalmic antibiotic ointment, and so it's really good. Chickens sometimes can actually get really goopy, runny eyes, as well as cats, dogs. Any animal can, and so this is nice to have on hand. And then I also have some generic brand of KY jelly. It's just, you know, like the lubricant. And this is super, super important to have if you get an egg-bound chicken. I'm going to hold on to this and I'm going to explain to you guys how to treat an egg-bound chicken in just a minute. So that's it for that side. And then over here, I have just a stash of gloves. Got these at the Dollar Tree. I have some vet wrap. I actually ended up finding this on Amazon, but I was super mad that I came to Dollar Tree a few weeks later and they had some. So this is actually like horse wrap, but you know, just to help, super sticky and help hold things together. This is just some rolled gauze. I found that at the Dollar Tree. This is some Band-Aid tape. I believe I also got this at the Dollar Tree. And you know, it's just always handy to have. Even, honestly, I've treated humans out of my vet kit as well. So, anything like, you know, like liquid stuff, obviously we're not going to be cross-contaminating. But it's so nice to just have these things on hand for whenever you don't, you know, you never know when you're going to need it. I also have a really small thing of liquid skin. A lot of times chickens can get open cuts, wounds, and things like that. And so they're not always super big. And so that's why I got some of this liquid skin just to try to protect it. And I actually found this at the Dollar Tree as well. Okay, let's take a look inside. So I have in here, and one thing that I really liked about this box was that it has like a removable tray up top. I know a lot of toolboxes probably do, but that was like for sure a selling point for me, one of my favorites. So I have got this at the Dollar Tree. It is just a Q-tip, cotton swab, and like a little, you know, like cotton applicators. Is that what you call those? Cotton pads. little thing of cotton pads. So I liked that it was in this little hard case to protect them from just like rolling around in here. I do have a set of curved needles. I told y'all that I did not have needle and thread, which I do not. I do have thread laying around here, so if worst comes to worst, I could always whip together some stitches if I absolutely had to. But like I said, it's something that I want to learn first. So I'm wanting to buy a stitch kit. But I do have needles on hand just in case. You know, those are always helpful for getting out like splinters or things like that. I have a little tiny thing of cornstarch. I actually bought a whole bunch of these little small containers from the Dollar Tree as well. And that way I can just write on them, label them, and, you know, put what I need in them. Because a lot of times, you know, obviously I can't buy just like a little box of cornstarch. So I had to use what we had and just put it out here. Cornstarch is good for in a pinch, cleaning up a wound. But I actually don't recommend like dressing on top of the cornstarch. Use it to immediately stop the bleed, but then eventually you're going to want to rinse it out and actually like treat it with something better. But this is always, you know, it's good for in a pinch. However, the reason that they say that you don't want to actually dress the wound on top of this is that cornstarch can kind of sort of be like a breeding ground for bacteria over a long period of time. So again, if you don't have access to like, you know, one of the little styptic pins that stop the bleed, then this is a nice for in a pinch. I also have a few little packets of probiotics. They sell these at TSC, especially during chick days. They're just nice to have on hand. They say Save a Chick probiotic, and I think that that's true that a lot of times when you have chicks with failure to thrive, they're just really lethargic. Getting them a boost of probiotic, electrolytes, and vitamins is a game changer. So I do have these little packets, but what I actually prefer is Hydra Hen. So this is Hydra Hen. It's about $8 at Tractor Supply, and you just put in a scoop for a gallon of water. Really helps. Smells amazing. Almost smells like cake or something, which is really strange in the chicken world. Things don't usually smell very good. So this is what I prefer, but I do like having these little packets on hand as well. So we have a comb, just because I feel like that's handy. You never know if you have to comb something out. I don't know. I've never actually used it yet, but I do have a comb. I also have a tiny little hand mirror. Sometimes chickens are tricky, and so that may sound really silly, but mirrors come in so handy when, like, you know, you need to see on the underside of something and you just can't get access to it. I got this at the Dollar Tree, and I mean, it's worth the buck I paid just to have it on hand. Again, I have a different type of, this time it's the elastic support band instead of just being like a self-sticking one. This type is the elastic. Got it at the Dollar Tree. I got some syringes. I bought a pack of these off of Amazon for seriously like $5 for 10 of them, I think it was, which is great because it holds 10 milliliters. And I feel like, especially with kids, you can never have enough of these around. So I got some for the chickens and some for the children. And these come in super handy, especially when you need to suck up solutions and things to, you know, to like pretty much force feed into the chickens. So we have a little baggie of goodies. And I got some popsicle sticks just in case I ever need to make a splint, and that's where that, you know, Band-Aid tape and that self-adhesive wrap, those come in handy. But I do have some popsicle sticks on hand just in case. These are like little chicken bands that they go around the chicken's legs. And a lot of times people say, how in the world do you tell your chickens apart? I'm like, it's like twins. You get used to them and you just, you know, like, you know their characteristics. But also chicken bands. That's how I tell them apart. And then in this bag as well, I have some Tums. Like the regular, you know, calcium Tums that we eat. The reason that I have them, oh, and I wanted to show you guys too. So inside the lid, oh, so heavy. Inside the lid, I put all these little stickers with labels explaining what to do with these. Just in case they like, I forget, like, why do I even have this? What does this do? All of this is still new to me. I'm still learning. And so I wanted to make sure that I wrote it inside the lid what to do. And I also joke with my husband that if I die, he still has to take care of my chickens. And so him and his buddy get a kick out of that I'm going to haunt him. something were to happen to me, nothing better happened to my chickens. So I leave instructions here telling them what to do. So inside, one of the things that I have is explaining how to use the KY jelly, crushed up Tums, and the Epsom salt that I have down here in the lid. I'm not digging it out right now. Y'all know what Epsom salt is. So basically you're going to start with your KY jelly. You're going to need to, you know, lubricate the area and then check inside and see, using gloves and my lid, checking to see that if, you know, like you can feel an egg inside there. And then what you want to do is crush up these Tums immediately. Crush them up. Put them in a little bit of water if you need to. If your chicken really is withdrawn and it's not wanting to eat, put this in a little bit of water. Otherwise, the chicken probably will think it's a treat and want to eat it. And so, crush that up. They need the calcium. Their body's going to need it, especially to help like push and strengthen to get that egg out. Because egg bound can absolutely easily kill a chicken within 24 to 48 hours. I mean, the egg is literally stuck inside there and you have to get it out. I'm not going to go real deep into all the things that you can do for egg-bound chickens. Maybe that'll be another video because it can be kind of an extensive, lengthy process. But I did want to let you guys know exactly why I have some of these random things that I have. So this one's actually used. I did end up using it for Miss Judy. So that's why it's kind of gunky. This is goat gel. It's a selenium and vitamin E gel for goats. I originally bought this for treatment of wry neck. Baby chicks, when they're born, their neck will literally droop. Like, here's their head, here's their body, their neck can sag. It's crazy. And so adult chickens can get it as well. It's mostly affecting baby chicks, but this will boost them up literally within minutes. Like, it's amazing. And if you don't get on that and treat it, it'll unfortunately affect a chicken for the rest of its life. So this is great to have on hand. This is not something that you want to drive to the store for. This is not something you want to order online, wait 2 days for. Like, this is something that you're going to want to have on hand immediately. I was really happy that I had it when I did have my chick Judy that was sick, because a lot of people were recommending that she needed selenium and vitamin E. And so what we actually think happened to Miss Judy was that she had some type of vitamin deficiency, possibly even botulism. Towards the end days, I was treating her with amoxicillin, and that still just wasn't working. And so, unfortunately, she still didn't make it. So, I mean, you can have all the information and all the tools in the world, and sometimes animals still just, you know, they don't make it. So this is something that I'm really happy that I had on hand. You can buy it from Tractor Supply. I bought it online from Jeffers Pet that I told you all about. But it is really nice to have. Is just really important for all different animals. It's a really great vitamin supplement. In addition to that, I have the it is the Poultry Nutri-Drench, and hopefully you guys can see that. Sorry we're dealing with crazy lighting. And so basically this is like the super vitamin for chicks. I've seen it myself. We have meat chickens outside, all the 50 baby chicks that have come to our house, and there's been a few of them that are just like cannot keep their head up, they're drooping, they're falling down, like they really have failure to thrive. They don't want to eat, they don't want to drink, so we force some of this down in them and get this in them, and I'm telling you, they perk right up. It's amazing, like the turnaround within an hour or two. So I love this. It's actually really great to just put into your chicken's drinking water anyway. So is the Hydra Hen. I actually do that, try to do it about once a week. Just, you know, like to keep into my adult flock. Not always just as a treatment, but as well as a preventative. Same with the Nutri-Drench. It's great for all poultry. They even have a little turkey on here. I don't know anything about turkeys, but good to know. And so it's full of lysine, calcium, 2 different kinds, vitamin A, vitamin D3, vitamin E, and I think there's actually a little bit of molasses in this as well. I have to read into it. It smells like molasses. When you open my box, it smells like molasses. And that's what I have in this little container that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's a locking lid. So far, I haven't had any spillage. I've been really nervous about molasses pouring out and making a mess everywhere. Molasses can work as a diuretic as well as it'll really flush out your system, which means, you know, it'll probably give the animal diarrhea. That is actually a really good thing because that's how you're flushing all the toxins out, getting it out of that body, and can just, you know, overall help with poisoning and overall strength as well. We have Hen Healer, which is just like a multi-purpose ointment. This was one that I thought to be pretty important to have. It is a wound treatment as well as peck prevention. When you get a wounded chicken, you basically need to remove it from the flock because the other chickens will peck it to death. That is literally why it's called the pecking order, because that's how it goes, unfortunately. That, you know, they see a wounded, even though it's a part of the flock, it could have been top chicken at one point in time, it's now wounded and they're going to pounce on that. So this is really important to me to have on hand, is this wound healer ointment, and making sure that you can actually like quarantine that chicken. Now, when you reintroduce them, they are going to have to fight their way up the pecking order again. And it's just kind of something unfortunate that happens in chickens. I have a little tablespoon thing. It's 1 teaspoon. Yeah, 1 teaspoon. Or the other side's 5 milliliters. I use this for dosing out my Corid. But, you know, it's just nice to have something like that on hand anyway. I have some Prid. I actually found this on Amazon, I believe, because I was having a really hard time finding it in Walmart and other places. I guess I didn't actually go check a drugstore. So if you have like a Walgreens or a CVS, I would imagine they'd have this. I did not check those places. I just found it on Amazon. And this is a drawing salve, and so they consider it a homeopathic drawing salve. Basically, you know, you have like splinters, cysts, things like that. This is good for humans as well. But it pretty much will just, it's a topical pain relief, but it helps draw those toxins, that pus, you know, whatever that is, it helps draw it out of the skin. It makes it, it brings things to a head. I feel like that's good to have. This is also a really good treatment for bumblefoot. I have super glue, just because super glue is like my equivalent to duct tape, and we've been known to super glue some human cuts around here, so I also have it on hand for my chickens, just in case the need ever arises. And I think that that's everything in my top. We're going to get into the bottom now.